Hello everyone, welcome to VBA Advanced. In this video, I'm going to talk about arrays. So let's get started. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So first things first, what is an array? Array is a collection of data. Till now, what we have been doing is we have been assigning a single value to a variable. What if I want to assign multiple values to a variable? If I assign multiple values to a variable, it will become an array. Okay, so this is the basic definition of an array. This is the basic concept, and as you know, I am not an IT professional, so I will try to explain things for laymen, and they may not be 100% accurate from IT perspective, but the definition is there so that a layman can understand what it is meant. So an array is represented by a variable which contain multiple values. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how to add values which are technically called elements or items. So these are the two technical names when you try to search about arrays on the web. You will find either items or elements referred to the contents of an array, the data contents. Right, so we will talk about how to add values, how to replace them, how to delete them, how to use UBound and LBound, upper boundary and lower boundary of an array. That is how to count the array elements, and what is multidimensional array, how to read from a range and how to write to a range. So let's get started. Let's open our Excel. So let's go to developer. I hope you can see this. Yeah. Visual Basic, and this is something I have already done. So let's go to a new module and let's call this MyArrays. Okay, so from here let's start a new. Yeah, the view is clear, you can see. Yeah, so let's start sub and let's call our macro my or arrays simple. Okay, so this is array simple, and I don't know if it is required or not, but what I have seen is that the variable representing an array is always defined. So let's give it a dimension dim, and let's call our variable that will hold the array that myArray. Okay, so this is the declaration I have given, that there will be a variable with the name of myArray. So vMyArray. So it can, right now it can be a simple variable or it can be a array. So what will define that this is real an array that will hold multiple values, but not a simple variable that will hold only one value? That is this command. So vMyArray, this will define that this is an array, and that is array. I'm going to use the word array followed with a bracket, array followed by a bracket, and in this bracket I will define my data set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the data values that will be stored in myArray. So these are stored. Once this command got executed, the values will be stored in this variable, that is vMyArray, and by using the word array, this variable is set to accept multiple values. So let's display these values. MsgBox vMyArray. Will this work? Well, if this is a simple variable with one value, this command will work. But now what is required is the location of the data. Because when I store this data 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into my array, every value will get a identified location. So I cannot simply say that display my array. I have to identify which location I want to display. So let's say I want to display the third location, number 3. So let's run this. F8, 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 no error, MsgBox 3. So you can see at the third location we have the value stored 4. Okay, so the code is fine, it's working, but why at the third location we have the value 4? It's very simple. The array location starts from the 0 location. First location is 0, second location is 1, third location is 2, and so on. So first location is 0. So if I say display the value stored at the 0 location, so I get 1. And what if I say show the location at 4? So show the value stored at location number 4. This will give me value 5. And what if I say show me the value stored at location number 5? So there is an error that says subscript out of range, right? So this is out of range, fifth location doesn't exist. So what I want to do is and see if it still works. Yeah. Alright, so what we want to do is let's display all values one by one. Let's say for MyLoop is equal to 1 to 5. Next vMyLoop. I want to show to display the values in the pop-up menu, the message box, one by one. But the issue is my storage doesn't start at 1. My storage location starts from 0 and it goes up to 4. And instead of 4, I will use a variable that is vMyLoop, the loop number. So let's run this from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is very simple, simplest form of array, where what we did was we stored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values in an array by using the word array, and then we displayed it with the help of a message box. So let's go back and see what next is on today's agenda, that is replacing and deleting. Replacement is very simple. Where is VBA? Here it is. If I want to replace any value, for example, if I say vMyArray and I want to replace the value stored at location number 3, okay, so is equal to hello world. So let's run this now. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is hello world, and 5. Okay. So you can replace by simply using the old-fashioned way, that is, put your variable reference on the left side of your is equal sign, and this will work. So the next thing is, what if I want to delete something? So I can use simply the double inverted commas. This will replace the data with nothing. So let's run this now again. 1, 2, 3, nothing. There was hello world, now there is nothing, not even 4, and 5. So this is how assignment works, and we can use the inverted commas to delete the data stored in an array. What else is adding, replacing, deleting, and add, so the counting. So let's count, but first, okay. So what if I want to add, before counting, what if I want to add another location to my array? So I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to add fifth location, or which is actually sixth, because we are starting from 0. So I want a sixth location, and that is identified as location number 5. So I would do redimensioning. So how I can do redimensioning? So let's delete this out. Redimension my array as having 6 locations. Okay, and let's assign a value vMyArray at the 6th location is equal to hello world. Okay, let's run this now. Okay, location number 0 empty. What happened? What is happening? Second is empty, third is empty, fourth is empty, fifth is empty, and we don't have 6 because we forgot to say 0 to 5. So let's run this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why? Oops. Yeah. So this has to be up till 6, or rather this should be actually 5, because we are adding the 5th location, number 5 location, which is actually the 6th. So let's run this now. Blank, 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 and we have hello world at last. So what happened was, when I do redimensioning, the data stored in an array gets deleted. Okay, so always remember that you can add locations to already defined array, but by doing so, the data already stored will be deleted. So how to overcome it? Generally it is done by programmers by creating a new array, then first storing the data in that array, then redimensioning, and then copying back the data to the new array with increased number of locations. So this was about simple array. No, we were trying to understand the counting, the upper boundary and the lower boundary. So let's do that. Let me copy this and get rid of extra commands. Simple. Let's say this. Oh, you can't see? You can see. Let me delete this rather. Yeah, this is a better view. So we want this, we want this, we don't want this, we don't want this, we don't want the loop. Yeah, so we want 2 message boxes, but this time we don't want to know what is the data and where it is saved. What we want to do is, we want to say first lower boundary of, we want to know the lower boundary of an array, and the name is MyArray. Okay, and then we want to know the upper boundary limit, the location limit, of my array. So let's run this now. The first location is 0 and the topmost location is 4. So if I add 2 more values or 3 more values, now let's run this. The lower remains at 0 and the upper will go to 7. So now we have 7 locations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 0. So total locations are 8. So LBound and UBound are these two functions are used to know the total values stored in an array. I hope this is clear. So let's move to next topic. Okay, here it is. Okay, so the concept of multi-dimensional, it is very simple. Right now what we have discussed is a simple array, single dimensional array, which has certain data elements 1 2 3 4 5. So it was simple single dimensional array. What is multi-dimensional? Multi-dimensional is very easy to understand. Excel works on multi-dimensional. How? We have columns and rows. So these are 2 dimensions. So if I say write 15 in cell C2, so it's a multi-dimensional reference. C2 column, C and 2 is the row. So think about an array is like a matrix or a sheet which has cells, and all cells have references in that array that has been created in computer memory. So we can refer to locations instead of 0 1 2 3 4 5. We can refer them as row 1 column 1, row 1 column 2, row 2 column 1, like that. Just like we refer rows and columns in the functions. In which function we refer them as 2 comma 1 1 comma 2? Cells. You are right. We have already done that. Cells in the bracket 2 comma 1 dot value. So we were referring the cells with their row and column reference. Just like that, whenever we refer to a multi-dimensional array, the location in a multi-dimensional array is referred with row and column number, and we can have up to 60 dimensions in an array, and those dimensions could be understood by the concept of sheets. When we are working in Excel on a sheet, we are referring to a cell that is existent on that sheet. What if we have 60 sheets? So this is how arrays work. A simple array, a multi-dimensional array, and that multi-dimensional array go to 60, and that could be understood as single sheet, second sheet, third sheet, and fourth sheet, and so on. So now I'm going to talk about multi-dimensional, but I will restrict myself to single sheet because all you need to know is the concept of this and how to use arrays. So let's go to Excel and try to read from a range and write from a range with help of a multi-dimensional array. So dimension my array is not equal to some numbers. It is now referred to certain range, and that is range A1 to A3. What is in cell A1 to A3? Where is Excel? Please, Excel, and let's zoom it a bit also. Why it's not zooming properly? Yeah. Alright, I think you can see it better now. Do we have a zoom? Yeah, this is better. This is better. And let's zoom out a bit here. And sorry for this. Yeah, now we are ready. So, did you notice that this time I didn't refer to, I didn't use the word array. When I refer to a range, I didn't use the word array, because when I refer to a range, it is already multiple values. Excel doesn't need the word array, because when I giving it a range, it means multiple values. So vMyArray is automatically treated as an array instead of a simple variable. So this is an array, and let's display something. MsgBox vMyArray, and what is the location? Let's say location number 1, column number 1. I want to see it. Okay, so this should be VBA Excel, my computer and life after COVID. So we will say VBA Excel. So this is VBA Excel, first row, first column. And what about third row, first column? So we have life after COVID. So this is simple use of arrays. What if I want to write this array, what that I have picked from range A1 to A3 in another cell range? I would simply say, let's say, I want to have this in B1 to B3, simply B1 to B3, simply is equal to, this range is equal to my array. So let's write this. So this is how it works. Simply whatever the contents of the array are copied in range B1 to B3. What if we don't have the perfect match of locations? Right now there were 3 entries and the cell range was B1 to B3. What if I say B1 to B5? Let's delete this first, and now let's run this. You see, not applicable, because this range, the location number 1 to 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. 3 and 4 doesn't exist. So there was nothing. So NA appeared in cell B1, B3. Oh, and what if it is less than 3, B1 and B2? Let's try to run this. So B1 and B2, we have the values from location number 0 and location number 1, but not the third value. Okay, what if instead of B1 to B3, I have B1, C1, D1? So again 3 cells, but not in the column, in the rows. So let's run this and see what happens. F8, 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 F8. So you can see we have this VBA Excel, VBA Excel, and VBA Excel, right? So the first row was copied instead of VBA Excel, my computer, and life after COVID. So this is the nature, and this is how an array responds to assignment. I hope this is clear. This is just a conceptual thing, and you must know this because many solutions available on the net use arrays. So do some practice of this array and try to understand this code. And this is also helpful when we are creating or moving data in a database. So this will be helpful in our future projects. But for now, please try to understand the concept. So if you learned something new, think about giving a thumbs up, liking this video, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I will try to answer them. I rather check the comments very often. So if you leave a comment, if you leave a query, I will answer that.